Archie, could we see him back in the mix and Toot Miller this week?
Both won't play. We won't make a change this week, no.
Not one?
No, not making a change. So, yeah, Archie's got no one to replace and everyone's going well. Took was a chance, and his virus last week, we think, it's a bit of a strange one, his ankles got extremely sore on Tuesday and we can't see any action that's caused it, and we think maybe his virus, we think at the moment we're getting a scan, but we don't think there's anything untoward. Maybe he had an operation last year, end of last season. We think maybe it infects, well, yeah, it hasn't swollen, but maybe it's just attacked the weak point there, and he's a lot better today, but he didn't train today, so he won't play. At this stage, fingers crossed, touch wood, he should be right next week.
How does that feel, having a bit of consistency right there?
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Yeah, but it would be nice, you know, if we get our better players as well back in, Miller and Farchi and obviously Harbrow next week. So there's a few players coming back in. Richard's not far away either. He played on the weekend, so it's looking up.
How significant is this game? It draws your level. It's a springboard. You talk about it.
Not in those contexts, not in those terms. I think it's more about us controlling what we can control and getting some consistency. You know, the last 2 weeks have been good, and that's what we want to get every week, no matter who we play. So obviously the season's really tight. I suppose where you're headed about where the competition's at. But as proven, the Lions played extremely well last week. You can beat any team on your day, and you don't have to be far off to be able to be beaten. So we need to bring that effort and consistency every week. So whether we're playing the top team or playing the bottom side, so that's what we're looking for.
Have you ever seen a season that's this congested or been this competitive?
No, not at all. And I think people predicted that at the start of the year, trying to be Nostradamus, picking their 8, and but there's a lot of good teams that they'd actually left out. So no, as I said, you don't have to be far off really to be beaten, and you don't have to have much going for you. No, you can be on your game and you can win games. So yeah, there's no easy game. So whoever we play, and everyone says, oh, next 5 we've got teams outside the 8, but they're 5 really good sides who are playing well. So it's tough as well.
Does that change your coaching plans at all? Thinking maybe a couple of years ago you might have thought there was an easier win somewhere.
Never thought it was an easy one here. Not over the last couple of years.
But no, it wouldn't have changed. It wouldn't change plans at all.
No, we need to win as many as we can, and we need to win every week. So that's our aim, and we'll be picking the best team possible.
Carlton's win over GWS seemed like an ambush from everyone watching the game from the outside. You almost penciled GWS aiming for a win there, and it's a perfect example. I guess anyone can win.
Oh, they can.
Thoughts on them or how you play them change after the weekend?
No, not really. No, there's more about that we prepare about how the opposition play, obviously. So we know what their strengths and weaknesses, as they would know ours. But it's more about us. It's more about us and the way we go about it. Now we started well last week. We had 3 quarters. The first 20 minutes of the last quarter, people thought it was a bit about the same, but our pressure factor was good. We won contested ball in that area, so our players were really trying hard. Their effort was good. Just Hawthorn's pressure was exceptional. And I thought we were able to withstand that in the end and be able to kick a couple of goals, so that was pleasing.
How's Michael Barlow's face?
Very ugly. Is that where you're headed with that?
Yeah, just like...
I actually thought his knock might have improved his face a bit, so that's where we're looking at. No, he's fine. He's able to play.
Okay, yeah. Well, you said there would be no change. Just have to double check because...
No, he's fine. It's only a stitches. He'll be fine. There's no drama. No drama.
Cool.
Yeah.
Rodney, if you were offered 6 and 6 at the start of the year with the draw you had, and I know you dropped a couple, you probably thought you would have won, but have you restored the balance? Is that about where you thought you'd be, or?
I was thinking about going into the bye. If we were 4 and 4, I'd be really happy with it. And we probably, as you said, dropped a couple, and we were 3 and 5. So probably 1 behind where we're at. Going forward now, we don't play a lot of teams in the top 4 or the top 5. I think there's only 1. So we've got our first part of the draw is the hardest part of our draw, if you want to take where teams are on the ladder. But as I said, we've got a lot of teams in around us now, so it's in our control what we do and how we go about it. But it's just, I know it's a cliche, but it's just every week we just got to turn up and play. No, we've got to have that consistency of effort. So the results and the ladder will look after itself if we can just bring that.
Do you as a coach look at the percentage at all, or is it way too early for that, or do you just...
No, just look at the WLs as the main one at this stage.
From a coaching perspective, does this season feel any different to the others? Like, does it feel there's this really good thing going in the club?
Well, the main thing is that we've got some players available. So last year at this stage, we would have had probably 25 to pick from, 28 to pick from. So that feels good. I think that's giving some players some confidence. I think they're getting consistency now in their performance. I think they're starting to believe what we're the way we're going about it. So I think every season is different. There's no doubt. There's different personnel. There's opposition are different every week compared to last year. So yeah, it certainly feels different. But we've just got to keep going with it.
Rodney, just with Stephen May, are you pretty confident he will be staying next season?
For the 10th time media-wise, I'll say yes. So we are pretty confident. We've been confident for 4 months.
So there's no update yet now? Talks
No, not at this stage. No.
And Jared Harbrow has 1 more week to sit out, but it hasn't been business as usual for him in terms of getting around the group and...
Yeah, he's had a few things he's taken care of early this week, so he hasn't been in the club early this week, but he'll be here on the weekend and then next week. So he's right to go. I just spoke to him before, so he's in a good spot.
Well, with your individuals, you've won a couple in a row. I wouldn't think that other than Harbs and maybe Stephen May, anyone's playing. No one's in exceptional form for your side. Do you think collectively they're playing all right? Gas. Yeah. But do you think there's a bit of upside? Because I don't think Tommy's having his best year.
No.
And there's a lot of them that aren't quite there.
No, I think you're right. I think there's a lot of improvement in some individuals. The pleasing thing is that we're sharing the load and everyone's contributing. All those players you mentioned who can improve are actually contributing, but not probably to the output they've had in the past. But there's a lot of improvement left. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Saad, I think's improved. I think he's probably another one that's on the way up. Ainsworth, it's hard to judge, but some other youngsters, Matera is probably performing better than he has in the past. But yeah, I think there's some improvement left in quite a few players. As long as the main thing is though that they play their role and they play the team aspect, which I've been pleased with.
Yeah, and Colin Jasny, I didn't get to see last week, but I thought he turned the corner the previous 2 weeks.
Yeah, there's a few of those players that have been spoken. Yeah, Sexton, even Pete Peter Wright before the West Coast game.
Yeah.
A few of those players were talked about. What's best for them going forward is it best to go back in the seconds and try and get some confidence. They were struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
But having a chat to them individually, I thought it was best to actually stick with them. Pete played well West Coast in the weekend as well. Cade's last 2 games have been good.
Yeah.
Secco was quite good against West Coast. So those players have actually fought their way through it, which is pleasing.